Hello, everybody from Rishon LeZion, Israel. Dennis Prager sent a video message to the Prager U dinner. He couldn't be there in person because he's still very unwell. I would really encourage you all to keep Dennis in your thoughts and prayers. There's a Jewish idea that if you say someone's Hebrew name and include also their mother, and that has a particular prayer power for some reason. So Dennis's Hebrew name, by the way, is Shmuel Nehemiah ben Hinder. So please do keep him in your prayers. But he sent it. The reason why I'm making this video is because he sent a really powerful message about the state of America right now and about rising anti-Semitism on not just the left, but also the right. I want you to watch his really powerful and important statement that he made for the gala dinner, and then I'll see you on the other side for some thoughts.
Hi everybody, Dennis here, and I'd like to offer you a thought and then some thanks to those participating in tonight's wonderful event, which, needless to say, I wish I were able to attend. Hopefully, a year from now I will. In any event, it's about the deep hostility to Israel and the Jews that we're seeing both on the right and on the left. The left is saturated with it. The right, of course, is divided and is still mostly pro-Jew and pro-Israel. But here's the thought. Having written a book many years ago called Why the Jews? About anti-Semitism, I made the point that in every instance, with no exception, when a society descended into hostility to the Jews, it self-destructed. It was the sign of a society in decline. I have said in speech after speech, especially at churches and to other Christian groups, that the Genesis statement of God that he will bless those who bless Israel, that is Abraham and his seed, and curse those who curse Israel, has in fact come to fruition. And that the United States, you may say it's coincidental, I don't think it is, has been the greatest blessing to Jews and Israel, and it has been the most blessed country. And I always concluded, and should the day come that America stops blessing the Jews in Israel, it will stop being blessed. Something for everybody to consider.
So, it must be a challenging moment for people on the right, people like Dennis, who they always saw, and by the way, I'm in this category too. I always thought that the far greater danger Israel for the Jewish people was on the left because it was so unaccepted on the right. I think it was actually Dennis himself who said that the left can publish anti-Semitic content in the New York Times, but neo-Nazi type right-wing anti-Semitism can't appear on Fox News. Well, now it's starting to change, isn't it, with the rise of clever Jew haters like Tucker Carlson and Fuentes, and then maybe not so less clever ones. But they're all, let's not downplay what they're doing, and let's not downplay their effectiveness, because they're capturing an increasingly large amount of the conservative right. And so Dennis is right to say that the left have been more of a threat and the right is still divided. And so that means there's many people on the right who are supportive of Israel and the Jewish people. And by the way, there will be some on the left as well, but I've always agreed with the analysis that there's far more danger of the left because they present themselves as virtuous, because they seem more culturally acceptable. But now we're dealing with it rising on the right as well. And Dennis is absolutely right to at this point, go back to biblical foundational truths. That is what made America great. That is what any political movement that wants to succeed should be based on. And we should be unashamed, as Dennis showed he is unashamed, to state these truths and to state that God is the God of Israel. He said his covenant with Israel was eternal. I don't know what eternal or everlasting means in your books, but to me, if God says I'm going to give you this as my word, I believe that God keeps his word. And if he says that I will bless those who bless you and curse those who curse you, it's not just this isn't just a belief anymore. You can look at the course of history. You can see how a nation's destiny, its fortunes and woes are tied to the way it treats Israel and the Jewish people. And by the way, this is not just some deep spiritual belief, but it's actually you can sort of explain this at a more practical level. It's not just that if you bless Israel, then God will bless you, but think about what it's meaning what function does this serve? God is trying to get humanity, the world, to a place in which the world becomes godly. It reflects the values that he believes in, that he wants for the world, that he feels comfortable dwelling in, so he can rebuild his home there, the temple, the third temple. Now, Israel are there to kind of lead the path, shine the light to the world for how to create a model society that does that, and to enlighten people. So if a society, if an individual says, I want to replicate, I want to learn from some of those values, then yes, of course, you're going to be more blessed. You're going to have a more blessed life, because this is what the Torah is all about. It's about showing you how can you build real, strong, moral individuals with integrity, with purpose, with connection to God, connection to real meaning, how to build up healthy families, how to balance work with other responsibilities. The Sabbath, we spoke about that in another video. All these things are there to create a happy, healthy, purpose-driven, godly family, community, society. And so if you say, I bless that, I bless those values, then you too are going to have a better society. You choose to turn your back on that, well, you're going to descend into chaos. And by the way, this even applies to the Jewish people. The Talmud says that without the Torah, the Jews would destroy the world. Meaning that we have so much energy and sense of we have to fix things and do things because that's kind of in our spiritual DNA, comes from Abraham. But if we didn't have the Torah, we'd pick other ideologies that would not be kosher, that would not be, the whole truth, reflecting the whole truth. And so we could also be very destructive. And listen, there have been some individual Jews throughout history that have picked very bad ideologies or created and propagated bad ideologies that have done more harm than good. So the message is so powerful, it's so timely, it's so necessary. But for me, it remains a question mark. What will America choose? What will they do in the end? Will they choose the side of goodness? Will they choose to turn away from that? Dennis has dedicated his life, and I hope will continue to have much more life and health to continue to teach America and the world about these values, about this truth. And I've just kept saying that I feel like for America and even Europe, so much of what happens now, Israel, everything, it's quite unpredictable. And I think the message really is here. It's up to us.
A quick message before we finish. We have been lied to about the Palestinians from beginning till end. Have a watch of the trailer for our new documentary called The Invention of the Palestinians, How a Nation Was Invented to Destroy Another. And if you want to watch the full thing, just click on the link in the video description. The Palestinians. We have been told they are an ancient people fighting for their homeland which has been stolen from them. This narrative has fueled decades of conflict, painting Israel as an occupier of stolen land. But what if this identity is not of an ancient nation, but a modern, cynical invention? A political construct designed not to build a state, but to dismantle the Jewish one. In this JTV Plus documentary, we're going to uncover the truth behind the creation of the Palestinian identity. How it was forged in the fires of pan-Arabism, absent in historical records until strategically rebranded in the 1960s by leaders like Egyptian-born Yasser Arafat to rally global opposition against Israel. We'll trace its roots from the Ottoman era, where Palestine was a region without a distinct people, through the pre-1948 years of Arab rejectionism, before focusing on the pivotal shift of the 1960s, when Arafat declared we should now be known as Palestinians, inventing symbols like the flag to mask genocidal aims. This wasn't about self-determination, it was about exploiting refugees. suppressing true aspirations under Arab rule, and perpetuating a war to destroy Israel. Join us as we debunk the myths of an ancient Palestinian nation, expose the strategic manipulation, and reveal how this construct has hindered peace while fueling hate. Fair but firm, this is the story of an identity weaponized not for building a future, but for erasing one. To watch this JTV Plus documentary and access much more premium content, click on the link in the video description.